hear the news about NASA opening up those Apollo lunar soil samples? And
No.
they successfully planted plants in the
Yeah?
soil without affecting it that much. They just basically watered it and see if they could get a seedling and sprout, and they did successfully.
Right. And these were isolated, so not planted on the moon. They're planted in soil that's like
Right. Soil from the moon, but on Earth.
Okay, cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the big news.
Yeah, big news. So that's the first time that's ever been
Terraforming.
done. Terraforming. And to
Yeah.
think like that before, it was just a tiny possibility of maybe if you got to Mars, like I think the Martian's a perfect like example of that, like growing potatoes on Mars. If we just show we can do it on the moon now, we could have a whole space farming infrastructure by the time we actually get to Mars. And then
Totally.
farming there is going to be way easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once we get there.
Once we get there. That has to happen. Absolutely.
You're right. It's a crucial step on the way there.
It is. But yeah, we're in this cool phase where we're testing all that stuff finally. It's NASA.
I'd not heard about that. That's so cool.
Yeah. It was literally, I think, 2 days ago. Yeah.
Wow. I just always imagine any soil from Earth, from the moon, to just look like chalk, like to just be white. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's probably not, but
yeah, there's definitely, it's highly reflective. So I think like a lot of that is just the sun coming off of it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
It's super like spongy and powdery. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
From an anthropological standpoint, would you guys have a big interest in the types of seeds that actually start terraforming the moon? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah, I think that would be fascinating because I mean, when you look back on human history in terms of domesticating plants, that's a big part of it. I think, I'm not so versed in sort of more archaeological or like historic anthropology, but I think because I mean, also like who gets to decide that and which plant is it? There's also a film, I've got it right down here, by Nanoba Becker, I hope I pronounced that right, called The Sixth World. And it's a science fiction film about a Navajo person who goes into space, and basically I think they're going to Mars, and on their space shuttle they have only a GMO corn, and basically it starts to rot, and so they're on their way to space and everything's dying. I won't spoil it.
No, it's okay.
It's really because I mean, there's already been stuff written about that, like which crops do you take? I think it's totally fascinating.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers your question very well.
No. That's perfect. It just makes me think about, I had the chance to go to the NASA's Veggie Lab in Florida, and they're testing different ways of simulating growing plants, on Earth and in microgravity, and they're also starting to think of the long-term plan of like, if we do send humans and we send them with a lot of different things, they are really concerned about the foods being nutrient dense and being diverse too at the same time. So as much as we would love to have like one crop, like you just bring a whole bunch of corn, like it's also like we've got to figure out these other plants that do really well in that kind of environment.
Exactly. And you don't know, how do you know which ones are gonna do well? Like, didn't they grow like pink lettuce on the ISS? I feel like they had a salad that they made floating there in gravity. So like, how do you know which plants will work better? I mean, sorry, just a sidestep also, I mean, that's the thing with 3D printing, right? Like that it can work in outer space because there's no gravity. That's makes it so much easier to build up in layers because you don't have to have the scaffolding and all that.
Yeah, and like the lack of gravity, the layers between, to your point, are even bonding, it seems, at a better layer adhesion than it usually does in Earth, because it's counteracting gravity. And so like they want to, it seems, I'm taking my own opinion on this, but it seems like the materials want to come together way more in the 0G. And the parts that they printed on the ISS, the ones that you asked me where they're holding those parts, which I would love to know, and if anyone knows, let us know so we can find them. But